Hello, and welcome back to Break Free from the BS, the podcast where we unpick belief systems and bullshit that you've been carrying around your whole life and pluck it away and give you a new perspective to leave with. My promise to you is that you leave this episode either challenged, changed, or at the very least entertained. I'd like to start off this episode by saying a massive thank you. I've had some amazing feedback on the podcast so far. I've had people emailing, sending me DMs on Instagram. I'm really glad that it's having an impact. That is the entire reason that I'm here. So please do keep the feedback coming. You can reach me on my Instagram at lou.lives.big, or you can email me on louise@breakfreefromthebs.com. But for now, I would love to get stuck into this week's episode. And it's a juicy one, guys. It's a juicy one. I'm afraid I'm going to be coming at you with some big sister energy again, guys, because today I want to talk about offerings and surrenderings to the universe, God, source, whatever you feel most comfortable calling this divine power that works through us and with us in this world. I want to talk about what you are willing to surrender in exchange for the life of your dreams. So it's a big, juicy episode. And this came to me actually the other night when I was doing my own work. I'm, journaling. I'm working through behaviors that no longer match the identity that I am moving towards, the highest version of myself. And it really got me thinking about how I could communicate this with you guys. What am I willing to surrender to this divine power in exchange for the life of my dreams? We all have behaviors that we use for a multitude of reasons. Sometimes that reason's comfort, it's numbing, it's just because it's a habit. We've always done it. That's what we were taught to do. It's the demonstration that we've been given in life. We've never really thought about it or questioned it or what it's doing to our life and to us and to our energy. So it can sometimes be a conscious or a really subconscious relationship we have with things that harm us. Okay, if we look at it just logically, not emotionally, there are a lot of things that we do every day, day in, day out, that harm us that we don't question. Maybe you do question. Maybe this is perfectly timed, this episode. And I'm going to list some of the things that I think are common amongst people. That could be that you doom scroll. It could be that you drink. It could be that you watch a lot of porn. It might be that you overeat or you are addicted to ultra processed foods in particular. It might be that you lead a completely sedentary lifestyle. It might be that you're binge watching TV every single night, or that you are chronically using dating apps. It might be overspending. There's another common one, right? Living beyond your means every single month, and not on like essential things. Like I'm talking boohoo.com and using Klarna to buy stuff that you don't need to buy. And it's this laundry list of things that we have completely normalized because so many of us do these things and it's not questioned because it's everybody's coping mechanism. So if everybody's doing it, it feels a lot less taboo or weird or uncomfortable if you're doing it, right? And that's not to say there's anything inherently wrong with some of these things, by the way. Like if you're drinking a couple of times a month, I'm not sitting here to say that there's anything wrong with that. The people that I'm talking to, you'll know that I'm talking to you. I'm saying if you have a problem with any of these things, bit of social media, no issues. A little bit of porn, if that's what you're into, no issues. Indulging in a beautiful cake every now and then, no issues. But you'll know, I don't need to tell you, there is a different measure for every single person out there as to what's too much. I don't drink alcohol now because even just one drink, my body reacts. I'm not even talking mentally unhealthy here necessarily. Like my body physically reacts. I get pain in my cheeks. My cheeks go like bright red and flared. I get a bad tummy. I feel like shit the next day. Literally one single drink. And I wasn't drinking much. It was like literally a handful times a year. But even when I was doing that, I was like, what? You literally know this is harming you. So at this point, you're just not blindly, correction, you're just open-eyed walking into suffering. You're actually just choosing suffering right now. Insane. So you'll know when I read that list, if any of those went, oh, that feels personal, it's probably because you're somewhat aware that you're overusing that thing. Maybe you've sat and had to think about why you might be overusing that thing. Maybe you haven't. This might be an opportunity to do that, right? Just observe it, understand, start to, when you reach for that thing, think about, what am I actually feeling right now? What's my need for that thing coming from? That's a really good place to start. Right, I'm not expecting to finish this podcast and you not have that problem anymore. Like, great, if I put down that good of a case that I can really help you on your way, fantastic. But this is just about being interested, curious, we might say, to what feeling we're actually experiencing when we reach for that thing, right? So that's a really good place to start this process, in understanding what you might need to be surrendering to actually step into alignment with the person that you deserve to be and desire to be. That identity. So step one is sort of like noticing what tweaked you when I read that list, and then starting to sit with, why am I reaching for that thing? Okay, perfect place to start. Once you have that list, it's then basically down to you to then understand, okay, so that thing that I'm doing, how is it negatively impacting me? And be really fucking honest with yourself, okay? How is it negatively impacting your life, your health, your relationships, your finances? How is it negatively impacting you? Why is it harming you? Why is it causing you suffering? And then I want you to think about what it's giving you. So that's going to link to the feeling maybe that you're not comfortable sitting in potentially, which is why you reach for the thing. What is that behavior giving you positively? Because it must be giving you something. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep doing it. So think about that. Now I want to ask you a question. And I want you to just immediately listen to what your intuition throws up. Hold one of those behaviors in your head right now, whichever one maybe feels worst for you. And when I ask you the question, the person that you picture yourself being, your highest version of you, your dream life, when you lay in bed at night and you think about the person you want to be, think of that person right now, embody them. Would they be carrying out the behavior that you are thinking of? And that's okay if there isn't an immediate answer, but I just want you to think about that for the second. Would highest version of you be doing the behavior that you're currently doing? Okay, now I'm going to assume for a lot of you, the answer is no. If the answer is yes, we've got no problem, babe. You can probably leave this episode now. You don't need this lesson, or you can just stay for the fun of it, right? But I'm going to bet that most of you went, nah, no. Highest version of me is not spending 3 hours a day doom scrolling on their phone. Highest version of me is not watching porn when I've got a partner that's literally living in the same house as me, that I can pour my love on and my physical affection on and foster a healthy, loving relationship with. No, like I would probably rather do that than watch porn. Does athlete highest version of me scran 7 UPF snacks every day? No, they're not doing that. They're eating whole foods. They're fueling their body well. Is athlete version of me not going to the gym? No, they're going to the gym. Okay, shit, right. Okay, and start to look at the gap between who you are and who it is you want to be, and like which of these behaviors, because I think we get stuck so much in, what do I need to add to my life? What do I need to add? I need more time, more. I actually am going to counter that and say there is something that you can offer up in exchange for the thing that you're looking for. For highest version of you, you can exchange a behavior or a craving, and you literally surrender it to God, source, the universe, again, whatever you're comfortable with. You surrender it over. Think about the thing that you're currently doing that we have just confirmed your higher self would not be doing. And then I want you to think about what you could gain if you offered up that thing. If you could have a presence swoop into your life and remove that thing, remove it from your life immediately, what would you gain? What would you replace it with? And I'm going to give you some examples here of what I mean by this, because the gap is effectively where we find that higher self. Between where we are now and our higher self is that identity shift from where we are into that person. And to do that, we have to sacrifice some stuff. There has to be change. You can't hold it all, babe. You can't hold current you in its fullest self as well as this entire new identity that you're picturing. Where are you going to fit all of that? You're asking too much of yourself. So what you have to do is shift in from the identity that you are now into the identity that you want to be. And you do that by exchanging behaviors, exchanging how you spend your time, exchanging your habits. You don't have to just add more and more and more and more. There has to be some give and take. There is only so much time in the day. There is only one of you. You only have so much energy. So if you're currently hemorrhaging energy into habits or actions or thoughts that don't serve you, you're then expecting yourself to have a whole nother like bucket of energy to spend on all of the stuff that higher self you would be doing. You're trying to add in all these healthy habits as well as keep all the old ones. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. That's not how it works. And that's not to say you're going to give all of it up immediately. That's so unrealistic. It's not to say that you're not going to fuck up sometimes, or not even fuck up, just revert back to a little bit of comfort, and then you're going to go, "Oh shit, I'm here again, right? Back up we go again." But there's no need to set your entire life on fire whenever that happens. It's okay. You're human. Just you consciously going, I'm going to call it God because that's what I feel comfortable calling it lately. And God to me is the entire Earth's energy. It's me, it's you, it's what's in the trees. It's just Earth's energy. It's divine source. It wants what's best for me. I'll do a whole episode on this at some point, but that's what I'm going to refer to it as. But for you, it might be universe, source. It was for me for a very long time. I'm not sure why the shift's happening. I'm just fucking going with it, babe. Anyway, back on track. You are going to say to God, here is this thing that I'm currently doing. I'm going to use doom scrolling. Right, God, this is literally what I would be saying. I want to create the life of my dreams. I want a career that serves my highest purpose. I want to help people in that career, but I also want to earn a financial abundance. I deserve to feel safe and secure. And I am willing to give you this habit that I have established of doom scrolling. I'm willing to surrender that habit. And in exchange, I would like that energy to be rerouted in its abundance into creating the life of my dreams. I want every hour that I have been spending on that phone, I give it to you, God, take it. And in return, give me that time to reroute into my business, whether it be designing, recording this podcast, sharpening my own personal skills, reading about subjects that can help me and help me help you. I want you to give me the boundless energy I need in doing that thing. Do we have a deal? Yes. Okay. I'm giving it back to you. And you can decide at what level that looks like, right? If you want to give it all, great. But if you're like me, you need social media. I need social media to do this job that I want to do, to have this dream life. It's part of it. It's the window into me for you guys. So I can help and I can grow. So I need it, which means I have to find a relationship that works with it. But trust me, even this week is a great example, right? I had my first viral video this week, like nearly 100,000 views. That's fucking insane, right? And I got this absolute tidal wave of love sent my way in comments by the thousands. And it was incredible and it felt so amazing and I learned so much from it. And I'll probably also do an episode on that to talk about that experience because I've taken so many lessons from that experience. But one thing it did is it washed me down the stream of being on my phone. And even though it was all amazing stuff, I got to the end of last week and I felt awful because I'd been on Instagram too much. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I mean, bad is definitely going to have a way worse impact, but even good screen time is still screen time. And I felt awful, and I had to have a pretty much phone-free weekend to like bring me back down to earth again. So I am really hoping to be very successful on this app to be able to create this dream that I have. And as I say, help as many people step into the life they deserve. So I'm hoping to be very popular on this app, which means I need to find balance, that even when my phone is popping off and it's all amazing stuff and I'm touching people's hearts, I still have to be able to step away from that and have discipline with that, because I cannot sacrifice my own life in exchange for that. So I give it to God, take the doom scrolling. Let me be calm in the knowledge that when I pick up that app, opportunity, connection, love, joy is going to pour into my eyeballs, but I don't need to check it every hour. I can check it a couple of times a day. And I give it over and I ask in exchange, with that time that I was drowning on spending in that app, here's what I'd like you to do with it. And be fucking clear. What are you willing to surrender in exchange for the life of your dreams? Even if that just starts with, okay, half an hour of that. I really want to be an athlete, but right now I'm not working out. I'm not walking, right? That might be your example. And I will give you half an hour every day in exchange. I'm going to do a half an hour workout every day. I'm going to give over half an hour of doom scrolling and I'm going to replace it with a half an hour workout. And God, I trust you that means I'm going to be strong. I am going to feel great in my body. All disease is going to leave my body. Like, I get that specific and I ask for that much. Hell yeah, I ask for that much. This source of energy wants completely what is best for you. It wants to see you win. It wants your highest success. So ask for everything that you want. I'm not even joking. And you might be listening to me right now and thinking, okay, she's fully fucking losing her mind. I promise you guys, we have spent our entire lives thinking the worst, thinking all of the worst shit that might happen, all of the worst stuff that might go down. The opposite exists. You basically just turn fear into faith. That is the only switch I've made. So now I get delusionally good about what might be in the unknown. Rather than thinking about the worst experience that might happen, I'm like, okay, here's the absolute best that might happen. By giving over this thing that's harming me and taking in its place this thing that's going to help me, I truly believe I will feel painless. Disease will leave my body. My hormones will balance. Like, I think of all the best shit happening. And I deeply encourage, basically what you're doing is you are identifying the things in your life that you are hemorrhaging energy, that are taking you out of alignment from your true self, that are keeping you stuck in your current identity, and you are replacing them with things that serve your highest self. You then shift that identity into your higher self and into alignment, therefore physically manifesting the life of your dreams. When I say manifest, I mean, like, manifest is such an overused word for like the wrong thing. Your thoughts create your reality. Full stop. So your thoughts create your feelings create your actions. All starts from inside of you. And the thoughts is what create the feeling that then lead to the action of doom scrolling, drinking, porn, overeating, da 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 da. So I fully encourage you to start at the thoughts and pick up on those thought patterns that are happening. Because the bottom line is that's going to shift to the feeling is going to shift to the action is what then takes you out of alignment. But a way to start to interrupt those thoughts is to add understanding as to what you're getting from the behavior, what you might be able to exchange the behavior for. Like, once you're consciously aware of the switch that you have asked God to make for you and what you are declaring you are making, you're like almost pouring into this new way of being with like love and devotion rather than scarcity and blindness and like unconscious living. You're suddenly going, right, I'm now fully aware of what I'm doing. I'm aware of why I'm doing it to an extent, if you can be. But I wouldn't panic too much. Even if you don't know why yet, it's okay to just start observing because you'll soon figure it out. So don't panic if you don't have all the answers right now. That's totally okay. But think about just starting to observe the thing. Again, I really want to be clear with you. My purpose on this podcast is to plant seeds of thought into you. I'm not here to fix you. I'm not here to solve problems for you. I'm not here to be some sort of like guru that can make it all better. I will be totally honest with you that I can't do that, but what I can do is use my own lived experience of being in a complete depression, a complete depressive state with all of the unhealthy habits, overeating, smoking a shit ton of weed. I wasn't looking after my space. I wasn't looking after myself. Absolutely no movement, eating ultra processed foods. Every single thing I've basically listed. Only thing I did never really had was booze. Never bothered me. Never really had an unhealthy relationship with porn. But everything else on that list that I said at the beginning, I was doing. All of it. And I was the most depressed I have ever been. Most days I couldn't even get out of bed. I would ring my mum literally on my kitchen floor saying, I don't know how much I can hold on anymore. And her having to just hold space for that as my mum. Okay, that's where I was. Take me from there to where I am now, which is surrounded by loving friendships in a home that's clean and loved and beautiful to be in. I am at like 80% whole foods, maybe even 90%. And even that last little tickle, I am so busy tackling. I'm having hypnotherapy right now just to really help with that last little bit that when shit gets busy, I revert back sometimes to just grabbing and going. Like, I don't want it. I am not interested in that behavior anymore because I've done all the thinking about it and the navigating as much as I can. And now I'm getting a little bit of extra help to get that final bit tipped over the edge. Like, I'm not coming here telling you that I'm a perfect human being. That is not what this podcast is. What this podcast is me, a real human being, helping you understand how you can get out of the pits if you're there, or how, if you are now someone that is out of the pits, you're functioning fairly well, but for some reason you can't quite break into this next phase, your bigger identity. I want you to live the life of your fucking dreams. I want you to be turned on by your life so much. And I want that for myself. So that's why I'm here. But the expectation isn't to listen to one episode and suddenly not have the issues anymore and suddenly not have a doom scrolling habit anymore. I mean, that would be fucking great. And if, do you know what? Maybe I'm more powerful than I think. And you might leave this podcast and be like, she's absolutely right. I'm literally giving years of my life away to this app. For what? No, I want to be an artist. And if I want to be an artist, I need to paint. So I'm going to hear God take my doom scrolling. I will replace it with painting, and I trust that you will get my art where it needs to go. You will get it to people that are touched by it, and more importantly, put their hands in their pockets and buy it and put it on their wall proudly. Ask for it, babe. Give up the thing and ask for the life you want and come with me. All right? And I think I went off on a bit of a tangent in the middle there, but I just want to give the context that none of these podcasts is a perfect person singing from a high tower or a pedestal. I am in the fucking trenches with you still, babe. Like, there are so many parts of my life that I am so deeply proud of where I'm at with them. I feel very content. I feel very in my body. I feel I am walking my path. But the spiral never ends. It never ends. Life is an ever spinning upward spiral. And my hope is that I get you to come with me, and also to the point where I am now, which is a beautiful point, which is I'm just doing it from a place of joy and love and curiosity. And I just feel it all. When I have a night that I get a wave come over me, and it might be grief, it might be a sadness, it might be a processing of something that happened to me years ago, I just let it happen. And that will be a whole nother episode. I think I've said that like 4 times tonight. It's because, right, I'm desperately trying to keep these episodes to between half an hour and 45 minutes max, a single person episodes, because I also want this to be something that can slot into your routine easily. Like, if you're coming in there like an hour and a half, right? So that's why I keep going, oh, next episode. And it's mostly to remind me when I listen back to go, right, write down the bits that you've mentioned about doing another episode about. I ain't going anywhere, honey. So we can keep coming back week after week. There is plenty of time, but I want to keep things somewhat contained. And that actually feels like a really good point to end this episode. So let's just recap what we've spoken about so that you can, if you need to make a note, so you can go away and action and have a think. Now's the time to get your pen and paper out. Okay. So I want you to think about, where are you currently hemorrhaging energy? What behaviors are you currently acting out daily or weekly or monthly that don't align with your higher self, with that vision that you can see so clearly for yourself? And I'm actually working on a pack to help you get that vision really clear. That's coming very, very soon. Okay. So that will help with that if you're a bit stuck on that right now. But if you are very clear on what you're going after and who you want to be, that identity, which behaviors don't align with that, which ones are zapping your energy. That's step one. List them. Yeah. Doom scrolling, booze, porn, overeating, sedentary, binge watching, chronic dating. I want you to think about, where are they harming you? Be really fucking honest with yourself. Okay. If you need to, like, get your cozies on, light some candles, put some beautiful music on, because it might be tough. That's okay. You can pause it, come back to it. If you're anything like me, you're just going to go in. I encourage immersion. And if the feelings come up, let them come up. Let them come up, babe. It's okay. So what's harming you? Why are you doing them if you know? What are they giving you? What is the overeating doing for you? What tends to trigger it? And if not, go away and observe. If you don't know, just start to bring it into the conscious mind. Observe, observe. And then I want you to think about the gap between the two versions of yourself, your current identity and the identity that you know is destined for you. And I want you to think about what you might be able to exchange those behaviors for. If you're going to surrender them up to God, universe, source, what might you be able to exchange them for? Okay? And then maybe just start one at a time. I'm an all or nothing girly. It's the absolute maker of me, and it's also the breaker of me if I'm not careful. But whatever you feel willing to offer up in this moment to that energy, and exactly what you want to exchange it for, and be so greedy. Okay, be greedy. Ask for exactly what you want in exchange. I will give you doom scrolling. You will give me boundless energy to paint the most beautiful pieces of art I have ever painted. You will carry them where they need to go. And more importantly, people will put their hand in their pocket and they will buy them. Be that specific. Okay? So that's your homework. And as always, thanks for being here. I love you, and I will see you next time.